In this video, I will provide you with the playbook that all successful Shopify stores follow to make 7, 8, and even 9 figures with their online store. It is a blueprint that, when executed properly, almost always guarantees success. What's up, everyone? My name is Steve Chu, and I run 2 7-figure businesses over at bumblebeelinens.com selling handkerchiefs and my e-commerce blog over at mywifequitherjob.com. I'm also the host of the My Wife Quit Her Job podcast, where I've interviewed over 450 successful entrepreneurs in e-commerce for the last 9 years. In fact, my podcast is currently the number 12 podcast in all of Apple Podcasts in the marketing category. Now, through a combination of running my own 7-figure e-commerce store, interviewing other successful e-commerce store owners on the podcast, and running my annual e-commerce conference, the Seller Summit, I put together a video today that will teach you what it takes to be successful in e-commerce. Now, I'm going to start with possibly the most important attribute of all. I've been teaching e-commerce for over 12 years now, and I often get asked the same questions over and over after a student first launches their website. Hey Steve, I just launched and I'm getting some traffic but 0 sales. What's wrong? And when I take a look at their website, I almost always see the same mistake. Now, what do you think the number one reason why most people don't make any sales with their online store is? Well, it's because of a lack of trust. It's because the website is not designed for conversions. But here's the thing. You don't need to be a website designer, nor does your website even have to aesthetically look that great. It just needs to reassure the customer that if an order is placed, that it will be handled with the utmost of care. Now, over the years, Amazon has trained customers to look for 3 things when shopping online: free shipping, no hassle returns, and contact information. Now, everybody already knows who Amazon is, but when a new visitor lands on your brand new website, they have no idea who you are. As a result, you have to prove to the customer that you can handle an order as quickly and as efficiently as Amazon, and that you are a trustworthy site. So how do you do this? Step 1 is to show off front and center that you offer free shipping and no hassle returns, and add your contact info on your website. Now, this information should be readily accessible on every single page of your website. Most people who are brand new to e-commerce or who are running an online store as a side hustle are often hesitant to include a phone number and an address. But not having a phone number or an address will basically reduce your conversion rate by half. So just go to Google Voice and sign up for a free phone number, and trust me, no one is going to call you in the beginning. And if you find that you're getting too many calls, well, that means your store is pretty successful and you can afford to hire a customer service agent in the Philippines for $400 a month. Now, if you can't physically answer the phone, just leave a message that says, "All of our customer service reps are busy right now. If you need an answer right away, emailing us is the fastest way to get an answer. Otherwise, please leave a message and we'll call you back." By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you sign up for my free 6-day e-commerce mini course below. And trust me, this mini course is better than most paid e-commerce courses on the internet. Now, the next thing that you must have on your website is social proof. People are like lemmings, and they always follow the pack. Unless a customer knows that someone else has made a purchase before on your site, they aren't going to buy either. Now, this reminds me of the story about how my buddy in high school couldn't get any girls to pay attention to him until he was seen photographed next to a beautiful girl. Now, it didn't matter that this girl was his cousin, but because he was seen around someone good looking, it made him much more desirable. Anyway, I digress. Because people are lemmings, you must have social proof on your website in the form of testimonials, press mentions, anything. And if you're a brand new site with no press or testimonials yet, just ask your friends to review your product and then post their testimonials on your website. And then once you start getting real testimonials, you can replace them. Now, to make these testimonials even more effective, use a photo or a video. And make sure you place these testimonials on every single page of your site, especially at points where you want a customer to take action, like during checkout or an add to cart. Also, if your products are brand new and have never been purchased before, make sure you hide the fact that your product has 0 reviews and don't display any share counts until you've reached critical mass. Otherwise, a customer, might see the lack of reviews as a reason to not make a purchase. After all, if a product has no reviews, that means no one's buying it. And in many ways, e-commerce is like a popularity contest. So just make your website come across as popular, even if it isn't popular just yet. You also must put together a compelling About Us page. Now, Amazon doesn't need an About Us page because they're Amazon. But almost every stranger who visits your site will want to know who is behind the business. So on your About Us page, make sure you post a photo of yourself and get personal. Tell the story about why you started your online store and what your unique value propositions are. Many people are more than willing to support a small business online. Now on our website, we post a picture of my wife and tell the story about why we started our business, followed by our strongest value propositions. Now once you feel like your website is ready to go, do yourself a favor and pay $25 to run a poll on PickFu. PickFu is a service that allows you to poll 50 people about their opinions for only $50. And the only reason I said $25 earlier is because there is a 50% coupon in the show notes below. Anyway, all you have to do is create a poll that asks the following. Assuming you like the products sold on this website, would you shop here? Do you trust this store and would you make a purchase? If not, please explain why. And if yes, what do you like about the site? And within 20 minutes, you'll get real feedback from real people that is 100% unbiased. I literally just ran a poll last week, and I just want to highlight what one person had to say about my website over at bumblebeelinens.com. I'd shop this store, and I like how upfront the website is about numerous things, like the kinds of payments it accepts, the headline that shows the number and store hours, as well as the shipping offers and return policy. And that's before I even search around the site. So there you go. Contact info, store hours, free shipping. Having all this information on every page matters. Now the next step to seven-figure success is having a way to bring customers back to your store. In other words, you have to have a way to collect emails and phone numbers on your site. Now if you look at my online store, I have a pop-up that collects emails by inviting people to spin a wheel of fortune to win valuable prizes in our store. Now everyone loves games, especially games that seem like gambling. So they enter their email to spin the wheel. Every spot on the wheel is a winner, and when they win their prize, they must claim it by sending a text. And here's what's cool. The redemption link automatically opens up the customer's messaging app with a pre-populated message, and all they have to do is hit send to get the prize. And using this method, I now have the customer's email and phone number, and I can email or text them about special offers and promotions. Here's the thing about email and text. A customer might not be ready to buy from your store right this second, but by emailing your customer on a regular basis, when they are finally ready to buy, they will shop at your store. Email and SMS is also a great way to bring an existing customer back to your site for subsequent purchases. For example, with our online store, I have a system set up that automatically emails a customer related products depending on what they bought. For example, if I buy a lace handkerchief from our store, my email system recognizes this and automatically sends them related handkerchiefs for purchase. And these automated systems can be easily implemented by Klaviyo for email and PostScript for SMS. For most online stores, email should represent at least 25% of your revenue for your e-commerce business. And for some stores, email can make up as much as 50% of their annual revenue. For my store over at bumblebeelinens.com, email represents about 30%. But make note, you must have a trustworthy website and have email and SMS set up before you even think about driving traffic to your site. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time, and you'll be emailing me wondering why your store is not generating any sales. Now, the final prong to run a successful e-commerce store is traffic, and this is where it really depends on what you sell. If you sell a product that many people are actively searching for, then search engine optimization and Google Ads is probably going to be an excellent traffic source for you. To determine whether your products have good search volume, you need to use a keyword tool like Ahrefs. Ahrefs is a tool that tells you exactly what people are searching for and how many searches are being conducted per month. For example, over 38,000 people search for handkerchiefs every month. Now I bet you were probably thinking to yourself, who the hell buys handkerchiefs these days? Well, we run a seven-figure store that sells them, so there's clearly a market. Now if your product gets a lot of search volume, you want to use Ahrefs to find out the exact keyword phrases that people are searching for and then use them in your titles and meta descriptions for the pages on your website. Also, you'll probably want to start a blog. Now, why is a blog important? It's because Google needs words and content in order to understand how to index your site. Most online stores don't have that much content, so having a blog will allow you to attract organic search traffic to your site. My store generates roughly 25% of its sales from organic search, and I rank for practically every handkerchief search term online. For more information about how to rank an online store in search, make sure you watch this video. Now, if your product is not well searched, then you'll probably have to resort to social media to promote your website. For example, my buddy Eric Banholtz of Beard Brand makes almost 50% of his revenue by driving traffic to his site from YouTube. My student Angela runs a jewelry store called Azura Jewelry and generates most of her sales from Instagram and TikTok. Running a successful social media platform for your online store is all about understanding who your target customer is and posting on a regular basis. Now, most social media experts will not admit this, but social media is a numbers game. In order to be successful, you must post often and consistently. My friends who run successful Instagram accounts post 7 times a day. I have one friend who makes millions from Facebook posting 24 times per day. It can be a slog, but you got to do whatever it takes. Now, almost every successful e-commerce store runs paid advertising in some shape or form, but here's what they won't tell you. New customer acquisition through paid advertising is an extremely expensive way to acquire a customer. In order to scale, you often have to just try to break even on ads and rely on repeat business and email to generate the most of your profits. That's why having a solid retention strategy in place with email and SMS is so important. For our store, our repeat customer rate is only 12% because we're in the wedding industry, but that 12% generates over 36% of our annual revenue. Repeat business is the lifeblood of every successful e-commerce business. So there you have it. If you can implement these 3 things successfully, you are pretty much guaranteed to run $1 million Shopify store. Now that you understand the fundamentals, watch this video here to learn exactly what I would do if I were to start my e-commerce store from complete scratch today.